Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Adams Brothers Podcast. Welcome to the hottest podcast in South Florida. Thank you for joining us this evening. We know we're a little bit late, but we had some technical difficulties that we had to iron out. But we got them straight. Come on in the room. Let's chop it up. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Let's chop it up. Welcome back to the hottest podcast that you know about right now. Welcome to the Adams Brothers Podcast, streaming to you live on Facebook and Instagram. I'm sorry, not Instagram, but YouTube simultaneously right now. Pop-up podcast, we're back. First time we're back on the air since the opening of the Johnny Lee Tigner Community Center. That was almost 2 or 3 weeks ago. We haven't been back on the air, but we are back. As always, two handsome, bald-headed black men that you see on your screen, on your phone screen, and your laptop. We're back. Thank you all for rocking with us as always. We're just on here to chop it up with you, give you some news nuggets, and let you know what we got coming up. Thank you all for joining us here. It's about 6:36 p.m. on Thursday. We're back live in the Adams Brothers Podcast studio. Welcome. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
So, like I said, we haven't been on the air since the opening of the Johnny L. Tigner Center. It's a beautiful center. If you haven't had the opportunity to go out there and walk around that facility, please do. Kudos to the city of Deerfield Beach, the Mayor Gantz, Commissioners Hudak, Preston, Parnas, Drosky, City Manager David Santucci, who is no longer with us. I believe it was his last day.
Tuesday was his last day.
They had a special meeting on Tuesday. It wasn't very long. It was only about 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
And they were thanking City Manager David Santucci for his service here with the city of Deerfield Beach. He's been here for
since probably 2000, and I believe he said around 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
He said he had been with the city. I think he was over in the Park and Recreation Department. He always said that they had him in the back, so that's why no one never saw him.
Yeah.
I like Mr. Santucci. He was okay at first. Our relationship, it took a while. I think he had a matter of trust, like most people when our podcast first came on. that work for the city or employed by the city. The commissioners, they didn't know what we was gonna say. They didn't know, and it took our relationship to grow. And that's how it was with city manager David Santucci. I don't think the level of trust was there at first, but eventually, with help of Rebecca Medina, our relationship began to grow
and
and
Commissioner
prosper.
Preston.
And Commissioner Preston, that's right.
He also told them that they needed to come on the podcast and talk to us. Rebecca Medina and Commissioner Ben Preston, thank you
Bridge
for bridging the gap. If it weren't for you all, man, I tell you, it wouldn't be. We wouldn't have the relationship that we have today. Hello, good evening, Willie Mann, Reverend Willie Mann. Calandra Jones saying, "What's up, Calandra?" Joyce Singletary and Anita Burns. Hey, Anita. Thank you all for coming on and rocking with us here. This is just a pop-up podcast. We talk about random things on the pop-up podcast. There's no particular subject. If you want to call into the show, the number is on the ticker on the bottom of our screen, 754-227-1986, 754-227-1986.
Yes, indeed. The call-in number is on the ticker. Also, don't forget to donate via Cash App, $ Adam Brothers Podcast, Zelle, W Adams Brothers Podcast at gmail.com. Please donate to our podcast, and you'll continue to get fed the information throughout the county, throughout the state, throughout the country. We talk about all events throughout. I mean, we got some dudes that's lined up for you. We just lined up a lot of people here for next week. It's coming up to the election, so we're gonna have. We'll talk about that here in a moment. Some people we're going to have lined up to inform everyone about the election process, and whatever else.
Yeah. So condolences goes out to all those people that lost property and family members of Hurricane Helene that just hit not South Florida, but the Bend. Florida Bend area up there, and went on through Georgia and Asheville, North Carolina, and on into Tennessee. And it dropped so much water. We see Willie Mann. Willie Mann, how did you make out up there in the Atlanta, Georgia area? I believe you're up there around Stone Mountain, but how did you make out? Could you put it in the comments, my brother? And hopefully you're okay. But our condolences goes out to anyone that lost family members up that way due to the storm. There's so many people displaced right now, and I believe FEMA is on the ground up there, and they're taking they're giving out water and all of the food and things that they need so desperately up there. So
these storms are getting worse and worse here, and it has driven the price. It's going to drive the price of insurance up soon. I would say give it another few years. We're going to have some type of national disaster fund that everyone pays into. It's probably going to be through, I don't know, through your taxes or through something, but I predict that that we're going to have something beyond that. I see cities doing it with utility taxes, and it's just a matter of time now before the state or which the state has already moved as far as here in Florida with the property insurance. The property insurance here now is almost more than your house payment here. So, I mean, Florida, just bear down, because it's only going to get worse here financially for us with this homeowners insurance. I remember, like I say, when I bought my house 30 years ago, the total was like probably about $600 a year. Now my homeowners and wind insurance and homeowners is around $8,000 a year. And they came up with, Citizens came up with another scam to make which we never had a flood over here. They put me in a flood area. I was never in a flood area.
To lower
Yeah.
everybody else's cost over in other areas.
And that's $900 extra on top of the $8,000 that I pay per year. Now it's like $9,000. It's like with another $900 a year with flood insurance, which I've been here 30 years this month here, and we never had a flood here. Matter of fact, according to the records, as far as I know, my grandmother used to always talk about it haven't been a flood here since 1928. She always used to talk about the 28th storm, but they're using the insurance here in the state of Florida, and it's gonna make a lot of people lose their houses. I know a lot of people don't really care because a lot of people saying it don't affect them, but it's gonna affect everything at some point because we're overpaying for homeowners insurance here now. And like I say, they're putting you in flood areas where you never was in a flood area before. This insurance thing has gotten out of hand and it's only getting worse.
So if you were displaced from your rental property, what to do next? Have you asked to vacate your storm damaged apartment complex, whether your unit was damaged or not? You may be eligible for disaster assistance. Apply for disaster assistance in any of the following ways. You could do it online at disasterassistance.gov. And the phone number is 800-621-3362. That's 800-621-3362. In person, you could visit a disaster recovery center, or on the mobile app, apply via the FEMA app. So if you were displaced during Hurricane Helena, you may be eligible for disaster assistance. After you apply, give FEMA a copy of the notice to vacant from your landlord, and you may provide a copy of the following: inspection. Give to FEMA inspector online at disasterassistance.gov, the mobile app, or you can mail it to FEMA PO Box 10005, Hyattsville, Maryland 20782-8055, or you can fax it to 800-827-8112. So they have this. This looks like for apartments only. If you were asked to leave your apartment complex due to the storm, the hurricane, then you could apply for disaster assistance. So
yeah, good luck with that, because I mean, good luck with those folks, because my roof never filed the claim finally, and I had to fight them for 2 years, and then after fighting them, they make you pretty much to get paid. Now they try to make you sign, which they make you to get your money. They make you sign a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement with them, to where you can't say how much you got, or you can't disparage them or anything, or as far as with that case. This is where we are right now in the state of Florida. And like I say, people better really, really take a good look. I don't care. This has nothing to do right now with what I'm saying with politics. Even though the Republican leadership in Florida, the one that made everything as worse as it is right now. But pan out and the disaster that we see right now has nothing to do with politics. And I don't know why every day you turn the TV on, you see them making it, oh, well, Trump here. Oh, well, Biden, why Biden ain't here? Man, those people don't care about that. Those people just want their lives back together again. They don't care who do it. I don't care who, when the person came here about my roof at the time it had damage, I didn't ask them, you a Republican or a Democrat. Only thing I wanted to see was some money towards my roof. That's all I care about. And they're every day, we're in an election, and they're trying to make it about, well, Biden didn't come here. Well, Trump is here. Trump gave $25 million. Who cares? Those people just suffered a major disaster, and they're on TV just making it about politics every day. This foolishness has to change at some point.
Willie Mann said we didn't have any damage in our area, but 50 miles east of us around the Augusta area and Savannah got hit pretty bad. My son's house was out of power for 4 days and no gas, no assistance. Wow. Well,
Sorry to hear that.
sorry to hear that, Willie. We're gonna see if we could find some places down here that's taking food and water and all the sanitary things that they need up there, and we'll be posting them on our Adams Brothers podcast page. Hello, Janet Man Garner and Diamond Williams. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, you have a lot of organizations that's collecting money, but you got to be careful of some of the organizations that you donate your money to, because if you look at a lot of those organizations, they're paying more money in administrative costs than to the people that actually needs the money, that really need the money.
There are a lot of scams out there too, so be aware of the scams out there. Hello, someone just sent us 50 stars. I believe it was Johnny Lucas. Thank you for the 50 stars, Johnny. Hello, Natasha Palmer. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone.
If you're just joining us, we've been talking a little bit about Hurricane Helena that hit Florida, Georgia, Asheville, North Carolina. These people, they need some help.
Yeah.
So if you got family members up there, we know it's hard on everybody right now, but if you can scrape up an extra $100, excuse me, send it to them.
Yeah,
I'm sure that they need it. Maybe a lot more than what we needed down here right now.
Yeah.
So,
and I know over the years we heard a lot of bad things about the American Red Cross, but I mean, I don't really know anyone else to help. I mean, if anyone know organizations, legitimate organizations, please put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. If you know a legitimate organization that we could post on our page, not no scams, but we will check it out. Don't put your bank account information up there and your routing number and think we're gonna, So not saying you all will do that, but you never know. We got some weirdos come through in the chat and start posting links here, and we have to block them. So if you can help out, please help out, and we're gonna try and assist as much as we can. So moving along, we will on next week. We're going to have on Monday at 6 p.m. We're going to have Florida State Representative Patricia L. Williams here on our podcast, and she's going to be going over Amendment 3 and Amendment 4, and I believe it has to do with abortion rights and recreational marijuana here in Florida. It's going to be on the ballot. I know some people.
I'm for recreational marijuana, and I don't smoke.
Smoke all the pot you want. I don't care if the state says it's okay for you to smoke. You can smoke. If you work for the government, you still can't smoke. Okay, you still can't smoke if you work for the government at any level, city, county,
right,
state, federal. You still can't. You can still smoke it. You can
take a risk.
Take a risk. If you lose your job, then that's on you. But
right,
we're not advocating that everybody go smoking pot. Use your own common sense. It's going to be on the ballot. So if you vote for it, fine. If you don't, that's you have a vote. You have one vote.
And we need 60% to get over that threshold for the marijuana amendment to pass. Let me tell you something. This state already suffering. I still say we need the tax dollars. You see a lot of commercials on TV saying that this person not gonna get it. Yeah, well, it's like that in every other state too. It's so many people have gotten licensed to have the distributed. It's like that everywhere. Don't be fooled by a lot of the commercials. Along with that, the police. A lot of people. Just think of the people that went to jail over the last probably 50 years. And careers have been messed up over marijuana being illegal here in Florida. We have a good opportunity now to make it legal. Like I think it's like 25 or 26 other states that have marijuana that is legal already. So
Yeah.
I would hope that Florida can come out of the I mean, you're going to have a lot of religious people and a lot of other people, you know, saying this and saying that, but do you see Vegas failing? Do you see, I believe, Detroit, New York, all the states pretty much in the north have it. So it's just time that Florida, California, it's 25 or 28 states, I believe, in the union right now that where marijuana is legal. I don't know if it's DC. I think DC might be included. I'm not for sure. I believe Chicago, but it's a lot of states, and we just need to come up. I mean, if you don't smoke, then don't worry about it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't smoke. I tried it, like I said, twice in my life when I was probably 15. It wasn't for me, so I don't do it. But I believe that here in Florida, we need the tax money. We need as much tax money as we can, because the homeowners here and the taxpayers here cannot continue to foot the bills here. We have a governor. We already know he's cutting everything, even from Medicare. So he don't give a damn about the people. So at least we have the lottery, and we have that. And let's make marijuana legal here in the state of Florida. That's just my take. That's my belief.
And hopefully some of these athletes, football players, basketball players, any athlete at the professional level, even the college level, they're getting the money from the NIL right now. So take some of that money and put your money together and network and put your application in. I'm sure Governor DeSantis got a ton of applications of all his buddies that he already promised is going to have, you know, he's
grow houses.
the grow houses.
Yeah.
So hopefully some of these, you know, a lot of those applications that's sitting on his desk are minority applicants that he's going to approve, and not just all his buddies that donate money to his campaign.
And don't let that scare you off either from voting for it, because, like I say, it won't criminalize people.
We're just bringing up possible points. He has he's probably got applications on his desk right now.
Yes, he do.
For you know, for grow houses.
Yes,
so
he do.
Hopefully some people with money, you know,
and these cities,
you're gonna need a couple of $1 million to get started. So
yes,
I know I don't have that, but
Mike Tyson and a lot of other athletes. Mike Tyson started the one out in California. So yeah, Tony Sands, Get Sensational Sands, says one of my soccer players in Asheville showed me a video he recorded. If it's okay, we would like to get that video and post that video. If it's okay with one of your soccer players, if it's okay, we would like to get the video and post it on our Adams Brothers podcast. We will give them credit if it's okay. We would like to post that video for our viewers to see it.
Yeah, tag us in the video, Tony, and we'd love to see it. And my goddaughter lives in Asheville, and I was trying to reach her, and I was unsuccessful trying to reach her. So
got a lot of people missing.
My daughter Roshonda, if you're out there watching, you know, call me. I'm concerned about you. I haven't been able to reach you for a few days now. So I saw your light lit up on Facebook. So if you're out there watching, give me a call. Let your Godfather know you're okay. Also, last month was Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and we didn't touch on it a whole lot. We took a little break for a couple of weeks after we did the grand opening at the Tigner Center, but September was Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so hopefully all the guys went and had your PSA, your blood work done at your primary doctor, and had your PSA checked for prostate cancer. It hits us black people very hard. Black men, if you're out there listening, if you got your brothers, all the ladies, you get on your brothers and your dad and your uncles and your cousins, and you have them go and check their prostate. Also, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So big kudos out there to all my ladies out there that's a survivor.
Yes.
Kudos to you all, and the ones that's out there fighting it right now. We're praying for you. You're going to make it. Fight. You are going to make it. So October is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. The City of Deerfield Beach community is invited to come together for a heartwarming breast cancer awareness walk on Wednesday, October the 16th at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Let's show our support for those affected by this disease by walking together at Constitution Arboretum Park, located at 2841 West Hillsborough Boulevard. And don't forget to wear pink. So if you want to know more about that, go on the City of Deerfield Beach website. And men, I have a pink shirt. I will be wearing it. I didn't think about it today. I will be wearing my pink breast cancer awareness shirt. I did order me a Adams Brothers Podcast pink shirt just for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So for all you women out there that's survivors, maybe some woman out there has just been diagnosed with breast cancer. Keep fighting. Don't give up that fight. And please don't give up. You know, you're in this, you're gonna win. Let me just put it like that. Hello, Shanita Neal. Hello, Janet. Hello, Iris Colbert. Hello, Shannon Moore, Ray. Hello, Kim Jones. Thank you all for joining us.
My classmate.
Kim Jones?
That's right.
I don't remember her. Maybe I know faces. I don't know a whole lot of names. So if you see me out in public, say hi to me. I might not remember. Some people I haven't seen since high school. That's been over 30-something years. You know.
Also, we have the 28th annual Done Run coming up too, and I believe that's gonna be. It says the City of Deerfield Beach Parks and Recreation Department would like to remind residents of the 28th annual Dunn's Run to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Broward County, taking place on Sunday, October 6th at 7 a.m. in the main beach parking lot, 149 Southeast 21st Avenue. Grab your running shoes and your family to come out for a day of exercise and fun with a 5K or a 5-mile run walk. And it has information on the city website to register. The bridge closure will take place that day beginning at 6 a.m. until approximately 12 p.m. Federal Highway will be closed northbound from Southeast 10th Street to State Road 810 Hillsborough Boulevard. So A1A will be closed. The Hillsborough Bridge, like I said before, will be closed. So govern yourself accordingly. And it's also going to be a meeting on the Southeast 8th Avenue Drainage Improvement Project. And it says here, the City of Deerfield Beach invites residents to attend a community meeting regarding the ongoing Southeast 8th Avenue Drainage Project. This is over by Deerfield Beach Middle School. So the meeting will take place Monday, October 7th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the Deerfield Beach City Commission chambers. Also, it was announced the other night at the City Commission meeting that the Dr. Martin Luther King, which is Southwest 3rd Avenue drainage, a grant was approved for, I believe, $1.5 million. So that MLK drainage project will begin next year. Hopefully, most likely, I think it was scheduled for next year. So finally, on MLK, I believe maybe from Alwoods, maybe to 10th Street. I'm not for sure, so don't quote me on that. But I know the MLK drainage project will begin next year, and a grant was received, I believe, from the state or the federal government for $1.5 million. So we will finally get that situated, especially past Deerfield Park. With the heavy rains we've been getting lately, man, I'm telling you, when it rains, it's been raining. I came through there one night. I've been here all my life, 58 years, and I saw cars stalled out there for the first time ever. So we'll finally get that drainage problem taken care of next year, hopefully. Also, maybe if someone out there is listening, because I have called the Environmental Service Department so many times, the lights on Dixie Highway. If you go down Dixie Highway from probably around about Southwest 5th Court, all the way down probably to 48th, if not further, past 48th. Look how dark it is over there. That is a safety hazard. MLK has been dark, and I'm quite sure the thieves hit again, stealing the copper. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to do something to keep these thieves from constantly stealing the copper. MLK has been, Dixie Highway has been dark for approximately about 5 months now. If you come down Dixie from Hillsborough probably to Peck, almost to Sample Road, I want y'all to just look and see how dark it is out there. That is very dangerous. When you're trying to turn, you can't see anything. It is totally dark out there. Good evening, cousin Dolene Moore Sutton. Good evening. But it is dark out on Dixie, and I know it's a new budget year, because I know in the past the thieves kept hitting so much that the city didn't. I guess the city just said, "Forget it. We're just gonna wait."
They fix the lights. They go and steal it. They steal the copper out of it again. Whatever kind of metal is in the pole,
right?
They're going out there stealing the metals from the pole, and that's why you're in the darkness. So if you see people, look, listen. If you see anybody stooping down around any light pole, doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, call the cops. Because they're stealing the metals out of these poles, and that's why all the lights are out.
And it's a safety hazard.
They're not only doing it here in Deerfield, they're doing it in every city across this state. And
over on Power Line, I heard they were doing the same thing. It's not just
Boca Raton,
everywhere.
They're doing it everywhere, not just here. So, and
they're disguised now. They're so sophisticated now, from what I was told. They have actually boom trucks that looks just like the regular FP&L or whoever the city employ. The trucks looks just like their trucks now. So they're out there, and they're actually still in the copper. But again, if you live here, go down Dixie Highway and just look how dark it is from 10th Street. I would say probably 5th Court, somewhere around Southwest 5th Court, all the way past 48th Street. Just look how dark it is. It is very dangerous out there. So I just wanted to touch on that. I'm quite sure folks from the city is listening. Like I say, I have called over to the Environmental Service Department numerous times, and they told me that it will be taken care of, but it still hasn't been taken care of.
It's a new budget year. Hopefully they got a little extra money in the budget right now. It's after October 1 now, so that's when they release all the money to all the departments here throughout the city. So hopefully we'll see some light here. And if you see them fixing the poles, if you see the lights come back on, people, when you're riding by at night, if you see a truck out there working and it looks suspicious out there, just jot the tag number down
and get paid
and call it in, call BSO and let them check it out. If it turns out to be nothing, then it's nothing. Let
get that reward money
and check. Yeah, there's some more reward money out there too. Hello, Kathy Jackson, Joanne Smith. Thank you all for joining us. Celestine Barnwell, thank you for joining us.
Yes, indeed.
Also enjoy an evening of community with the family and fun night. The City of Deerfield Beach Parks and Recreation Department invites you to our Halloween themed family and fun night. This vibrant event is designed to bring families and communities together for a night of fun, games, and spooky surprises. It's going to be on Monday, October 28th from 6:30 to 8:30 at the new Johnny Lee Tigner Community Center, 445 Southwest 2nd Street. So big up to the City of Deerfield. You're doing some good things already out there at the Johnny L. Tigner Center. We want to see that center completely full. We want to see some music lessons out there. Anybody that wants to teach, and if you know how to teach music or dance or yoga or line dancing, go out and talk to the city, out to the Mary Davis. She's one of the supervisors. Everybody knows Mary Gowdy Davis. She's been here, working here forever. Grew up here in Deerfield. So go out there and put your name in the hat. Well, they need all the help that they can get out there, and I'm sure they do pay something for teaching these classes. So need a little extra money if you know how to teach. I don't know what the criteria is you have to meet, but go out and get some information on it. Once we get it, we'll be sure to pass it along to you guys. So
and also here, I want to move over to right now, unless Daryl got something else.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to move over. If you go back and look at our Adams Brothers podcast page, you will see BSO has put out 2 rewards for homicides. That one took place in Deerfield Beach, over by the it was 1200 Southwest 11th Way. So that's over by the Cracker Barrel. I believe that's the extended stay over there somewhere in that area. It was, the victim name was Bobby Abernathy. And this murder happened April 10th, 2024. This murder happened. And it happened at 1:17 a.m. And it says here, Broward Sheriff Office homicide detectives hope a reward of up to $10,000 will lead to an arrest in the murder of Bobby Abernathy. That occurred in April. And it said at approximately, here's the narrative, at approximately 1:17 a.m. on Wednesday, April 10th, a Broward County Regional Communications received the report of a shooting victim at 1200 Southwest 11th Way in Deerfield Beach. BSO deputies and Broward Sheriff Fire Rescue responded on scene. Deputies located an adult male bleeding profusely in the parking lot, and he had gunshot wounds. Paramedics took Mr. Abernathy to Broward Health North Hospital with life-threatening injuries. Later that day, doctors pronounced Mr. Abernathy deceased. And anyone with information is asked to contact BSO Homicide Detective Christina Luna, and her number is 951-321-4210, or you can call 954-493-TIPS. And also, it's another case. Now, this one really haunts me, and it's from 2017, and it was it happened in Fort Lauderdale, and it was the murder of a mother and her daughter. In 2017, this happened. Tamika Williams and Jada Allen. Their case has long been unsolved, and this is from the Broward Sheriff Office too. And it said, Broward Sheriff Office detectives are hopeful that an increased reward will bring long sought information to light that leads to an arrest in the case. You had a mother and a daughter that was killed, and I'm gonna give you the narrative, the BSO narrative. It says Williams and Allen were found dead inside their North Lauderdale home on January 2017, and it said the homicides were the subject of the first episode of BSO Open and Unsolved Cold Case and video series, which debuted in 2022. If you go on our Adams Brothers podcast, you will see a link to the video, and it said BSO detectives and family members believe the killer or killers likely knew Williams and Allen and knew the layout of the family's home. There were no sign of forced entry, and 2 other children inside the home at the time of the murders were unharmed. And if you have any information, contact BSO Cold Case Detective Zach Scott. BSO Cold Case Detective Zach Scott is very familiar with the Adams Brothers. We had him on our podcast before. Actually, he worked on our sister Angela Savage case in the latter end. BSO Detective Zach Scott, please, if y'all have any information on that murder that happened here in 2017, it's one of the unsolved cold cases, and you got 2 people that were killed, the mother and a daughter, and other kids were in the other room and they were unharmed. But bring some closure to that family. May go on our Adams Brothers podcast, and you will see the reward with the victim's picture. And let's bring this family some closure. They deserve it. They need it. 2017, that's a long time, but you know, we seen cases go way farther than that. At some point, you never know how relationships change with people who might have committed that murder. Their relationship might change they might have went and told someone. They might have went and told a girlfriend or a friend, and that relationship might have changed. And I'd like to see some closure brought to this family in that BSO cold case.
And speaking of BSO, Lieutenant Christian Silver will be the new executive officer here in District 10, Deerfield Beach. and that came straight from Chief Adam Hoffstein. I'm not sure what happened to Lieutenant Cade. He was the executive officer. Maybe they moved him to another district, or maybe he got promoted. So I have to reach out to Lieutenant Cade, but congratulations, Lieutenant Christian Silver. Well, I'm sure we'll be meeting you pretty soon here.
Hopefully on our podcast, like we met Lieutenant Cade.
Yeah, maybe we'll get him on the podcast, him and Adam, to come on and talk him. Thank you, Lieutenant Cade, for your service while you were here in District 10, and I'm sure they're going to continue wherever you're going. So
yes.
Real nice guy. Real nice.
Yes,
guy.
Lieutenant Cade was a stand-up guy. I'm sorry to see him leave Deerfield. He had that same type of vibe that Deputy Harold Morrison, who will be honored next month. Matter of fact, November 9th.
Is it next?
I believe it's next month.
November.
Adam said, Hofstein said, and the family, Deputy Harold Morrison, aka Dread family, will be there to dedicate the Harold Morrison out at the Johnny Tigner Center.
Maybe we'll broadcast live from out there the same way we did.
Yes, maybe if the city allow us, we will be able to do it. But a great honor for the late Deputy Harold Morrison, aka Dread. He was a connection to this community that we need more law enforcement officers here with that connection to this community that people in the community can go to and that people in the community trust.
Also, the longshoremen, they're on strike right now. As many of you all know from watching TV, you see the longshoremen, they're striking all the way from Maine all the way to Texas, and even here in Florida at the Port Everglades and at the Port of Miami.
Yes.
So they're striking right now. So guess what that means? All of your goods and services that comes through the port, all of your fruits and your veggies and everything comes through the port. These people, these men and women, they help load these trucks and boats and all of this stuff, and these containers that come in from around the world, they're on strike. So you're gonna see your prices start going up. Already there's a little scare about toilet paper. People are going to run into the stores right now, starting to buy up the toilet paper. It might be a toilet paper shortage like when COVID started.
Yeah.
So they're buying up the paper towels. So be mindful. If you need some of these things, go get them. But don't go in there and try to get everything in there. One person try to go get 15 boxes, then try to go out there and sell them to somebody else for double the price. Yeah, that's price gouging. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Okay. Yeah. So don't do that. Go in there and get what you need, and don't try to go buy up the whole store and put it in your garage. Okay.
And pay those longshoremen, pay them. I mean, and also the minimum wage in Florida went up to $13 an hour as of October 1st. So I mean, hey, it'll be $15 an hour, I believe, $15 an hour within the next year or two, I believe it is. But it did go up to $13 an hour. So that is the pay right now for any job right now in the state of Florida is $13 an hour.
So much stuff is changing here in South Florida. I mean, here in the state of Florida. The homeless people can't sleep in the parks anymore. You can't sleep on public benches, because the governor signed the law that law enforcement can arrest them. A lot of these homeless people sleeping in the parks, they're veterans that wouldn't serve this country, fought in wars, and for whatever reason, they ended up homeless, and they need somewhere to go.
This is where the churches and everyone else step up.
Yeah, by putting them in jail, that's not going to solve the problem. So
we need organizations and religious.
The Kenya Robinson, that's a good place for homeless people to go and check in.
Everyone.
The City Church down in Pompano.
Yes, she's been serving the homeless.
You could go by there once a day and get a pair of pants, a shirt, and a pair of shoes. And if you need to take a shower, she'll let you take a shower. So
she's on the ground doing the work.
City gatekeeper down in Pompano.
Right.
Kenya Robinson, Pastor Kenya Robinson. We just had on our podcast, so go back and look on our timeline. You'll see Kenya on there. She's doing wonderful things. I don't mind donating my money down there
either
to Kenya because
It's going to a
she's
good
one of
cause.
those pastors that puts the money, that does things, right back here in
In
the
the
community. Not
community.
saying that the other pastors don't,
Right.
but when I tell you this, she has, feet on the ground down there in Pompano.
She does the work of the
She's
people.
putting in the work, and she'll open up her shop and say, hey, whatever I have in here, whatever you think it's worth, you give it to me. If you think it's worth $1, you give me $1.
And if you have anything to donate, please donate to Nakenya Robinson Foundation. Like I say, it goes back to the people. So definitely, and like Daryl was saying about the homeless, I mean, a lot of those homeless people have little or no resources, and this is only gonna fill the jail cells up. This is the prison industrial system is the legislators here in Florida are some of the worst here. And that's just what it is here. Florida, as I always say, and I know some people not gonna like this, Florida is the retirement home of white supremacy. It's the final resting place. And most of those people that practice their white supremacy, wherever they're here, they come here to Florida to retire here. And a lot of them come here. A lot of them are legislators. Not all. I'm not casting that net on them, but they're making laws here. Some of the most craziest laws here. And some of those people do not need to be in public office, and they call themselves Christians. And I know some people are gonna look at it and say, well, they on the bench, and I've just, matter of fact, I go here to Deerfield Beach, where a lot of people was complaining about some of the homeless people being on Southwest First Terrace over at the McKeithen Park. And I know some people are gonna look at that in a funny style way and say, well, some of the people over there, they need to be this and that. But again, like Daryl said, a lot of those people are veterans. A lot of those people suffer from mental issues, and we all have them, drugs. And yes, it's their choice. But a lot of those people, we need to help those people. We can't just criminalize those people because they don't have nowhere to go. And it's going to be a lot of people that's not on drugs going to be homeless the way rent is going right now. It's going to be a lot of people under the bridge or sleeping in their cars here in the state of Florida and in other states here in the next few years. You're going to see a lot of people homeless here. So before you cast judgment on those people homeless, I would just say to take a real good look in the mirror at someone in your family or someone else, and just, like I say again, it's not a godly thing. Those people, those politicians, and I'm gonna call them out now, they mostly Republicans that came up with this. There's a lot of Democrats joined in that too, that will now criminalize the homeless. And you just ride around. I mean, if you ever travel outside of Florida, go to places like Louisiana, where me and Daryl saw the homeless. California, we were out in California. I never seen more of the homeless people than I did see sleeping under the interstate. And I mean, it was like tent city, like we used to have here in Miami back in the days when a lot of the refugees came here. But it was like bad in Louisiana. It was bad in California. It was bad in Vegas. A lot of homeless people. It was more homeless people than I ever saw in California and in New Orleans. So, in Tennessee, I see Desiree Wright Posey said Tennessee. Yes, the homeless it is a lot of homeless. And we're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to deal with that as a nation at some point. And we can't just keep sending, as I said, resources over to Ukraine and other places. I mean, look at the money they're gonna be sending over to Israel. Look at the money they're gonna be sending over to Ukraine. And we have people right here that are suffering here. So we always say help starts right here at home. So I would like to see a lot of help for the homeless right now. Also, I know, as everyone have heard, we lost legendary actor and former military veteran John Amos from Good Times, which he actually died, according to family, I believe August 21st.
31st.
a 31st, because I know I saw 21st, 31st or the 21st, one of those dates. But he's been dead since then, and his family members are going back and forth at it on social media because the son knew, I believe, but the daughter did not know, and it's sad. I mean, I just think, I don't know what their thinking was, but John Amos was a legendary actor, and he wanted to see him in the late Esther Rolle right here from Pompano Beach, Florida, the legendary Esther Rolle. They wanted, if you remember, during the Good Times days back around 1976 to 78, you hardly saw they killed James off with the iconic and the legendary Damn with Florida, and after that the Esther Rolle stopped coming because they were making the character of JJ more buffoonish, and Esther Rolle and John Amos wanted to see more they wanted to see more intelligent. Exactly. Exactly. They wanted to see more intelligent scenes and plots on there
what was
instead
the
of
director's
buffoonish.
name back then?
Lehman. I mean Norman
Lear or something.
Lear,
like that?
And which
John Landis,
which Norman Lear actually stole that from Monty McClure, Monty McLean, Monty. I can't think his name, but
he was Lionel on the Jeffersons
and Lionel on the Jeffersons. It was Monty,
the original
Lionel, and Monty. I can't think of his name. Monty. Norman Lear stole that project from them, and then they ended up paying them, I believe, $1 million, and they still was Lionel. If you remember from the Jeffersons, Lionel, the new Lionel, another Lionel came. Well, that was when he was going back and forth writing for the Good Times and the Jeffersons. So the late I can't think of Lionel's name right now, his real name, Mike Evans, I believe it was, Mike Evans. But those guys were pioneers in that business, and a lot of their work was stolen by Norman Lear, which is well documented. And those two guys were, I'm not going to say Mike Evans, the original Lionel, but Monty was blackballed out of Hollywood. His story is out there. I mean, he has a real good story that people need to go back and really see how cruel Hollywood was. They stole this black man's, he actually came up with Good Times, and then Norman Lear and all other people ripped him off. And Monty ended up being homeless for a while. But at the end of his life, he started making a comeback. Very good story of redemption. I think people need to go back and see. But yeah, the original Lionel from the Jeffersons, Mike Evans, he was very talented. Him and Monty McLean, whatever his name, I can't think of his name. Eric Monte. Look up Eric Monte. And you will see Eric Monte and Mike Evans were the original. They were writers for Good Times. And then Norman Lear brought his people in there. And that's when you start seeing all the buffoonish character of Jimmy J.J. Evans.
Yep.
Or Walker.
Yep. John Amos actually quit from Good Times after the third season because he wanted to see the show in a more positive light, like Wayne was saying. And Norman Lear didn't want to do it, so he wanted to keep JJ saying "dying old Mike," and talking about the show, putting on shows about the ghetto and being stuck in the ghetto. And John Amos had that vision. Look, I want to portray black families as bigger than this, and Esther Rolle did as well. Yeah,
so she ended up leaving. If you remember, she left for a while. She came back and she married the guy Carl, which we never saw him after. But the late Esther Rolle, right from Pompano Beach, Florida, her and John Amos, they were trailblazers in this industry, and they stuck up for positive characters in our television shows back then, and they are always to be commended. The late John Amos.
Hello, Dwight Forrest, Mary Davis, Sabrina Copeland Poindexter, Unique Black, cousin Deborah Strobridge, Philpott, Kizzy Harris, Jay Jackson, and Pastor Reverend Demetric Ford. Hello,
Reverend Ford, we're gonna be
Ford.
sending you some stuff.
We'll be
This
sending you.
here, hopefully by tomorrow.
Yes, we haven't
We
forgotten
didn't forgotten about you. We were just talking about you today.
Yes, we were. We were. So, and if you're just joining us, we've been talking about a number of things here. This is a pop-up podcast that we just talk about
Anything.
random things. We don't have a particular subject. We just talk about.
We lost Pete Rose the other night too.
Pete Rose. We lost Pete Rose. We lost James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away. Who else are we? Dikembe Mutombo.
Mutombo. Yes.
He passed away. We've been losing John Amos. We've been losing a lot of actors and stars here, man.
Our legendary people that we grew up watching.
Yeah.
We've been losing them. People, take care of yourself out there. Go get yourself checked out, like Daryl said earlier. But those people were old, like John Amos. They lived a good life, and they lived a good life. I mean, John Amos, he had some struggles after Good Times, but he was able to get on Roots and a lot of other shows. People put him on in the end.
Yeah. So we're gonna miss John Amos. I really enjoyed watching him in the movie Coming to America, the original one.
Yes,
that was my all-time favorite movie. I love to go back and watch those barbershop scenes and Cleo McDowell. He was Cleo McDowell in the movie Coming to America. So
and he played on Roots. You remember
Roots? And,
yes,
he played on
so many shows. Players Club. Yeah, I believe that was the Players Club. Yeah. And he played on so many shows after that. That's right.
Martin, man, he just
all over the place. The legendary John Amos.
He's gonna be missed. So
Pete Rose too. Pete Rose was another baseball player, played for the Cincinnati Reds, and it was always my opinion that Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame. Now he's dead, and he bet on baseball. Yeah, he was wrong. He admitted it, and he agreed to a lifetime ban, I believe, in 1989 by then, I believe, Commissioner Bart Giamatti, if I remember right. I love baseball, so I'm pretty much a historian on baseball too, but I believe Bart Giamatti was the then commissioner at the time, and I can't think of the report, the Dowd report, I believe it was, if I remember right, that was called, where they found out Pete Rose was betting on baseball. But Pete Rose was legendary. He should have made it to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, he's gone now, and they're talking about putting him in there. But I always said I believe that the legendary Pete Rose, with over 4,000 hits, should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
As well as he should be. So anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
We put some articles up the other day on it was a great New York Times article on, again, the subject that you just can't shy away from, because you see it so much, especially if you go to church. I mean, the New York Times had a great piece. If you go on our Adams Brothers podcast page, and you will see it, and it was an article on the church. It touched on a sensitive topic of the decline of attendance in the Black church.
Black church, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a great article. It's on our Adams Brothers podcast page. And Daryl also put another article up too, I believe, by the Hilltop Online, of the decline in the Black church too. So and those are great articles.
They're talking about the youth not coming to church. What are these youth called? Generation Z or something like that?
Me and you are in, I believe, Gen
we're the
Z
baby
right now.
We're the baby boomers.
No, we're not the baby boomers. We're Gen Z, I believe.
Gen Z?
Oh. Yeah. The baby boomers was from the 40s till 1964, I believe, or 64 or 65 was the baby boomers. But me and you are in Gen X, I believe, or Gen Z, or something of that nature right now.
I thought it was the baby boomers, but maybe I'm wrong. But again, you have to find a way to get these young people back in the church. They say you have to go meet these young people where they are. That's what the article is saying. It's a very interesting article. So if you haven't read it, go on our podcast page, the Adams Brothers podcast page, and click on the link and read the article. And hopefully it'll give these pastors around the world, around the country here, some insight why young people aren't coming to church.
Yeah.
You know, so and we're going to do another podcast on why the church is empty. We're going to have a whole new other panel of guests, so stay tuned for that. It'll be coming up pretty soon here. Once we get the election out of the way, we're going to be talking about that. So,
and everyone, please go out and vote.
Don't hold your vote hostage.
Early voting
okay?
starts soon.
Don't hold your. If you don't like Kamala Harris, then look, we understand. What she done for black people and this and that. But what has Trump done for black people? I keep asking this question, but nobody wants to answer it. Okay. Nobody wants to answer the question. Okay. So if you want to hold her accountable, hold him accountable too.
Yes.
She didn't invade the Capitol. I can tell you that much.
But just vote. Go out and vote.
Don't hold your vote hostage. Okay.
I'm not voting for Trump. The hell with Trump. Neither, and I always say neither party not gonna improve none of our lives. So let's be honest. It's not. I look at other people that it can improve their life, but I don't think neither party at that level can help the majority of people here in America. And I just think people just get too caught up in it. I think the local level people need to be more involved, get more involved, because that's where the majority of our taxes and everything else are coming from. So I would say let's get more involved. Go out and vote. Get more involved in your community. I still say I don't believe you have to go to every commission meeting. They have the commission meetings online, but just stay involved and know what's going on in your community, and don't be one of those ones that's always complaining but never contribute anything towards your community. But all you do is complain about this and that, but you never have done anything for your community but complain. Take a good hard look in the mirror.
The election is 33 days away, November the 5th. So please go out and vote.
Early vote.
If you don't vote, don't complain about anything. Okay, you have no right to complain if you don't go out there and vote. Vote. It's people. People died for our right to vote, and you got people saying, "I'm not voting for either candidate. I'm not voting for him, and I'm not voting for Kamala. What has she done for black people?" Okay, whatever. If you're gonna hold your vote hostage, then that's on you.
I ain't voting for Trump.
Okay.
I know that much, and it is what it is. I know people can argue all they want on Facebook about this, that, whether she black or this or that.
Who cares about that?
And both sides have legitimate arguments, but it is what it is.
We're gonna go
on election day. Just go vote, and we'll see where the chips fall.
We'll see what happens after the election. Hopefully, if Trump loses, he won't go and invade the Capitol like he did the last time. So we're gonna hop on off of here.
And go over to Tony Sands. Go over to watch Tony Sands. He's on right now. So jump on over to get Sensational Sands podcast right now on his Tony Get Sensational page.
Yeah. So join us next Monday, on Monday the 7th. We're going to be here at 6 p.m. We're going to have Florida State Representative Patricia Williams right here talking about the amendments 3 and 4 and the homeless and all of this and that. So y'all be sure to join us here on Monday live. We're going to be streaming live here on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you all for rocking with the Adams Brothers. Go ahead.
Also, hopefully next week we will have also we're trying to finalize it right now. Broward County Supervisor of Election, Joe Scott. We're going to have, hopefully we can have him on one day next week. That to be announced, talking about the election, the do's, the don'ts, everything. If you have any questions, please participate in the chat to ask Mr. Scott. Joe Scott was on our podcast 4 years ago, and he was then candidate Joe Scott, and he won the election. We see him out. He's a great guy. Joe Scott. He's the Broward County Supervisor election. So as I said again, hopefully we'll have Mr. Scott on here either next Wednesday or Thursday of next week, but that is to be announced.
Thank you all for rocking with us here on the hottest podcast here in the nation, right here, the Adams Brothers Podcast. We love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Don't forget to go on our page if you haven't already and like and subscribe to our page on YouTube and Facebook. We're also on TikTok and on Instagram. Like all our pages, because we're going to be live streaming to all of them simultaneously.
And don't forget to
real
donate.
Soon.
Don't forget to donate to our Cash
ticker.
App and Zelle on the ticker. Cash App, $ Adams Brothers Podcast, Zelle, W Adams Brothers Podcast at gmail.com. Please donate. The money is not spent in our pocket at all. It goes towards better equipment. And if you saw us broadcasting live, we didn't even bring out our top stuff for that. So we're just waiting on the right opportunity. We have I'm hearing a lot of good things coming to the Tigner Center as far as our forums and things in the future that's going to benefit all of Broward County. So just stay tuned.
Thank you all for rocking with us. Thank you for joining us here on the Adams Brothers Podcast. We will see you all here on Monday, October the 7th at 6 p.m. Not unless something else pops up between here and there, some breaking news, we might hop on here. So thank you for rocking with us. We appreciate all the love and support that you all give us. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Good night, everybody.
Good night.